Welcome back. This is Jstank here with another episode of EVE Online, and today we are doing something a lot different. It's been a while since I did an update video, so a lot has happened. I am now the owner of a new house and a new wormhole, and I am the CEO of my own corporation, and we own this wormhole here, and we just live here and just try to make some ISK, basically. It's pretty good. I like it. But there's a long story to be told, and I want to tell it now. So, this happened about 20 days ago when I decided that I finished training all of my required skills to fly a stealth bomber, and I wanted to be a torpedo delivery man like Wingspan. And so I made a stealth bomber here. And I aspired to just go into wormholes and just try to get some kills. So I did that, and I posted into what was then the -1 Syndicate, but now it's called the Assimilated Collective, which is Magnasis Drakenwolf's channel. And I said, hey, this is my first Manicore, and what do you guys think? And they were all like, yeah, go for it, it's really great. And then I got a invitation to join a corporation that was going into wormholes, and I thought that those interests aligned with mine, and I did that, and that was great. I had pretty good fun. The first day, I actually got 2 kills actually with my Manicore. And here's the first kill. I was sitting on the hole, just kind of watching, watching for anybody to come in. And this guy jumped in, and he jumped in not at 0 on the hole and tried to get back. And so I took him out with my torpedoes. And then, it's not 3 minutes later, I got another guy came in through the wormhole, and he did the exact same thing. Didn't warp at 0. And I delivered his torpedoes, or her torpedoes, and I killed her for 25 mil. So the first 2 days of my torpedo delivery career was successful, and I delivered torpedoes to 2 different individuals. And we also raided some wormholes. We killed some, or they killed some sleepers. They got some Talokian frigs, and found some relic sites, which is cool. But that wasn't enough for them. They actually decided that they didn't just want to raid wormholes, they wanted to own wormholes. So they were looking at a site to buy wormholes from, and they were looking at a few different ones. And meanwhile, I was still raiding, kind of on my own, because I don't know what happened. Like, we got separated somehow, and like the second day that they were raiding, they weren't doing much, so I decided to go into a random hole. I went into a hole in like one jump from Mar, where I had spotted a sleeper relic site that I wanted to farm out of it. So I was gonna go in, I was gonna take the sleeper relics, and then get out and like go back to Amar, which is 1 jump away. And it was going to be really easy and quick. But what happened was I got stuck because the wormhole had closed behind me by the time I got back. So I had to quickly scan down another wormhole, and that wormhole actually jumped me back out to Solitude, which I had to take all of the relics that I got from the site and to jump back into like real actual high sec and not just Solitude. So on my way back, I instantly undocked from, or not, well, came out of the wormhole in Solitude, and I was instantly chased by faction police. And I quickly docked up, and I was trying to figure out like if you could actually get away from faction police with a battle cruiser, because I was in my Drake at the time. And I was sitting there like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? Like, I'm kind of stuck out here, it sucks. I'm gonna have to jump all the way home, plus through nullsec and things like that. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just run for it, and I did, and I ran for it, and sorry, I'm trying to scan here and talk at the same time. So I ran for it, and I was being chased by faction police through HighSec. I had to avoid these gate camps and everything, and it sucked. And it's kind of an interesting day, but on my way home, I passed a red blinky person, and that red blinky person was my old CEO, and we got to talking, and he was going one way, I was going the other. I saw him at a gate, like, real quick, and I hadn't seen him in a long time. And I talked to him, and he's like, well, what are you doing? And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing wormhole raiding right now. He's like, okay. And I was like, well, they're actually looking to buy a wormhole. And he said, well, I have one. So apparently, a few months ago, my old CEO had cleared out a wormhole and was trying to sell it. So I was like, well, geez, I know a person who'd buy it from you. So I was talking to my current CEO about this deal, and he said, yeah, it's great. Let's like go check it out. And basically they were gonna buy it. So the next day goes by, and no one's bought it yet. And I'm like, what's going on? I thought you were gonna buy it. And he's like, oh man, I don't know. Like the deal is not going so good because he wants to use this man, Triba, who is a pilot who's a well-respected pilot for mediating a deal, like high-price deals like this, to make sure nothing goes wrong, so there's trust, you know. But he wasn't online at the time, so everybody was getting kind of frustrated. So I was like, just calm down, it's cool. We'll just wait. We'll just wait it out. Just wait till he gets online. And eventually they did get online and they did make the deal. And he was so excited to buy the wormhole. We really didn't check it out before we went in there. And he was like, yeah, everything's great. There was like, we got into the wormhole, this wormhole, and there was, let's see, how many sites were there? There was like 20 anoms and just as many 6. And we were like, oh my gosh, this is great. Like, there's so much money in here. So he paid 650 mil for the whole thing. And we moved in, and it was great. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and scan this here. I'm not really paying attention to what I'm doing. Make sure I'm cloaked, that's good. But yeah. And so I go in there and we see a bunch of signatures and we're like, wow, that's awesome. I hit D-scan and I see 3 ships on D-scan. And those ships were a Buzzard, a Venture, and another Buzzard, or a Cormorant. Now, I saw that this Cormorant was called XXCEO XX. Now, I figured since the person who was selling the wormholes corporation started with a couple X's, I thought that was his Cormorant, even though that he would never fly a Cormorant ever. I just thought it was his, and he was in there doing the deal. Turns out that was not true. Because, and I finished scanning finally, thank God. But, the reason why that was a bad thing is because there was this thing here whenever we got here. And I'll show you that in a second. As soon as I warp to it. Now my ex-CEO had said that this whole wormhole was clear, but when we got here, this whole POS was activated. And there was guns on it, and there was a few ships as POS trash. Well, I was like, oh my gosh, like I got on the horn, I was like, look, I was looking for the Buzzard, I combat probed the freaking Buzzard down, but it's at a active POS. So we're not alone in here, so I don't know what's gonna happen. So we contacted this the seller back, and he said, well, I cleared it out like a couple months ago, and these guys must have moved in since then. So we were like, shit, what are we gonna do? So we just kind of like thought about it. We thought about like contacting these guys, but I was like, no, don't contact them. We haven't seen them. They haven't bothered us. Just let it go, and we'll see what happens. Well, I was sitting on the hole one day, just like I was back there at the high sec exit, and all of a sudden, someone warps through in a frigate, and it was like a scanning frigate. So I was like, okay, so we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna find this guy. So like, I went to like the data site, where exploration frigates could go, and I was looking for him there. I couldn't find him there. I was like, what do you mean? Like, I know he didn't go to a wormhole because I watched him go through. And then I figured like, oh, he's going like right towards that enemy post. I wonder if it's the person who was living there. So I warped to the enemy post and it's gone. Like the shield is down and he's sitting there like, what's going on? So I was like, oh shit. So yeah, so I went here and I didn't see him here at all. So I was like, oh my gosh. So I started getting on the horn with people. I'm like, look, dude, it's like the pos shield's down. Get back up here. We need to like clean this out. So I destroy the Cormorant and the Venture because I don't care about those. And I'm like, oh man, there's a buzzard there. There's a buzzard just sitting there. And my corp mate, Boba Fett, who's probably the best frig pilot I've ever seen, I said, man, there's like a buzzard here. Is like, come back here. So he gets back into the hole. He's sitting there, and then all of a sudden, a Slutner comes through, and I was like, oh shit, Slutner on scan. Hold the phone. Slutner comes through and just sits like right on like where the pos was, and I'm like, ah, damn it. So, and we didn't have anything to really take out a Slutner, unfortunately. So we would just have to deal with it. So, and my buddy comes in and he's just like, I'm gonna kill that buzzard. So he just warps in with his Navy slicer, just like pops a buzzard. The Slutner pops a slicer, and we got like a 70 mil kill for like a 15 mil slicer. It was pretty awesome to watch. I wish I'd have got that on camera, but I didn't. And basically, they basically like tear down the pos. I took everything out and warped out, and we haven't seen them since. But and that was great. The pos was down, and we were in here by ourselves, and it was a good time because we were making money. We were taking down sites and stuff, and everything was great. All right, I got all my stuff signed, or everything's bookmarked and whatnot. Anyways, so everything was great. Thought we were in the hole by ourselves, and everything was pretty good. So we kept farming sites. We went to neighbors' sites and farmed their sites, which was awesome, and everything was great. But the next day, we get on, and I get a report saying they saw an orca on scan, which is fucking weird, right? See an orca on scan. I was like, well, scan that guy down, combat probe him. But apparently, there was a group of people who were noticed that the wormhole was pretty empty, so they were operating out of a cloaked orca somewhere in a safe spot, which is a very tough thing to bring down. Well, the orca came out, and the people were leaving, and we were coming through a gate just like this. And I was coming out, and this guy caught me in a Stratios here, and basically just brought me down with his little gecko there. I got him down to half armor before he brought me down, but it was pretty sad. I lost Drake, and we thought that maybe we were going to get camped a lot, but nothing. But they ended up just leaving, and nothing really happened with it. See what else happened. And then after that, we did get war decked by one person, but they haven't really bothered us at the moment because well, they can't find us because we're in a wormhole, right? So hopefully that'll go away soon. And we're just now joining a new alliance whose name I will not let you know yet. I might let you know later whenever the alliance is more established, but we are joining an alliance with a PvP roaming group, which is going to be good. Trying to think about what else happened. We've had a lot of little fights and things, so it's kind of hard to record Wormhole Life because you never know what's going to happen. Like right now, someone could jump through right now and we'd have content, but at the moment there's nobody. It's pretty early in the morning, so I don't think that anybody is home. But right now I'm going to go ahead and check out this wormhole right here. It's a wormhole I scanned down. It's one of our neighbors. I'm not sure if it's the high-sec exit or not. I can be showing you that for sure. This one leads into unknown parts of space. So, next episode we're going to go through this wormhole and check it out. See you guys later.